This is the Stereosis.
All right, the video you are about to watch right now is a protest by women from Ihamufu over the rape incident that has been occurring concurrently. We all understand and we all know it's in public domain that the Fulani herdsmen has been terrorizing Ozuwani and some other parts of Enugu North senatorial district over a period of time. I do not know what the government of the state is doing, especially with the formation of the Enugu State Security Fund that our governor, Idamba, has launched recently. But what's happening in Enugu State and some other parts of the southeast goes ahead to underline the influence that the ESN had played over time. I don't know what Ohaneze Ndigbo is doing in this regard. I don't understand what the Southeast governors are doing to this regard. Our women cannot continually be raped. Our daughters cannot continually be raped. Farmers cannot continually run away from their farmlands because there are marauding Fulani herdsmen all across the southeast, unleashing mayhem on innocent people who are going about their own business. The protest of the women from Ihamufu goes a long way to buttress the fact that Ohaneze Ndigbo and the southeast governors have been very docile towards the plight of their own people. Rather than fight for the safety of our people and the citizenry, the Ohaneze Ndigbo is busy gallivanting around, looking for who to pay them ransom for declaring the 1966 coup an Igbo coup. I believe that Ohaneze Ndigbo should have, as a matter of urgency, worked hand in hand with the Southeast governors to ensure that the security architecture that will protect the borders of the Southeast was put in place. You built Ibubago, which was a failure from the moment it was established. A lot of people had advocated when Ibubago was established that rather than establish a new architecture, that you should allow a private entity or a man who has a lot of influence to actually fight the fight for the protection of our people in the southeast. We know that Nnamdi Kanu had established ESN, and the goal of ESN was not for any other thing, but for the protection of the lives of our people. Rather, what did they do? They established Ibubago, and Ibubago, their only mission was actually to hunt down members of ESN. Not that I'm a supporter of ESN, but I know that we had relative peace when ESN was actually formed before the infiltrator Simon Ekpa came in. I believe that Ohaneze Ndigbo, in the interest of our own people, must do everything humanly possible to ensure that the man of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is released, because his influence on the youth of the Southeast are very positive. He has actually awoken the Igbo spirit of an average Igbo man to understand the position of the Igbo people in the whole architecture of Nigeria. Why do you continually hold Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in perpetual detention, even against court orders? Is it not the same marginalization that he was talking about? We have the other Yoruba freedom fighter too, who was arrested, and then his people rallied around him, and the federal government released him unconditionally, and is busy traveling as he wishes. Why do you keep Nnamdi Kanu perpetually under detention, even when we know that some of the people who are unleashing mayhem in the southeast are not really members of the ESN, but people who sit in positions of authority, and then they are using insurgency as a tool for personal self-aggrandizement and enrichment. I believe that there are a lot of people, especially those who are in politics, especially those who, one way or the other, must have lost their election, are unleashing mayhem. You know what happens across the world. Terror is a big business. Terrorism is a big business. You know the revolution by the American government on the activities of people who were supposed to be aid workers, USAID, rather than go about their business. They were busy sponsoring terrorist groups across the globe. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, we've said this in this podcast, and I still reiterate the same thing here. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu might be a problem to those or members of people in the political class. But Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and his pendant release or his immediate release will be a solution to everlasting peace and prosperity in the Southeast. I wonder why a lot of our political leaders are very docile when issues of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is being said or being mentioned. A lot of them who even advocate for his release are always not very serious, because even their body languages always sells them out. If we want everlasting peace in the Southeast leaders must work as a team to ensure that Nnamdi Kanu is released. We must find a way to incorporate ESN into the security apparatus of the Southeast for an everlasting peace and stability. Enugu Ezike was relatively very peaceful after the members of ESN were presumed to have driven out Fulani herdsmen who were living in their bushes. Today, members of ESN marginally have been decimated, and now there is a massive incursion into the farms and homes of people living in Enugu North Senatorial District. This video is a show of what their actions have brought about. The women are raped, our young men are being killed in the farms, and then if you listen to what one of the ladies in that video actually said, you see that they have carnal knowledge of these women and then uses their farming, the walking stick that they use in herding their cattle to insert into their private areas. Just imagine, if these people were your mothers, if these people were your sisters, will you sit arms akimbo and then watch such scenario repeatedly repeat itself? Southeast leaders, you have to stop being very docile. The people elected you. Even if you stole the people's mandate, it has already become your primary responsibility to protect lives and properties. When you do not make adequate security arrangements, so many unemployed youth might see insecurity as a tool for self-enhancement. They will see it as a tool to accumulate wealth. They will see it as a tool to garner influence over a domain. It will be a war of terror. If the Southeast leaders, the so-called Southeast leaders, if they do nothing, if they sit docile, the Southeast is fast turning into another type of war zone. The Southeast used to be known as the most peaceful region in Nigeria. Today, katakata don't bust. Everybody is running helter-skelter. This cannot continually to happen for the economic progress of the people of the Southeast and for Nigeria in general, because when the eye cries, the nose bleeds. Southeast leader,